Om Agyan Timarandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshur Unnaditam Jaina Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Ikanamane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschachanti Sitarane Hare Nama Hare Nama Eva Kevalam Kalo Nasteva 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 Gatiranyata Mancha Kopa Trivyascha Kripasindhu Devicha Petitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasudeva Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Krishna has really blessed me that 2 times this year I've had very sunny Vyasa Pujas. The first was in Vrindavan, and those who were in Vrindavan, you saw how horrible the weather was. It was just thick fog, practically constantly, and it was freezing. And then, I was requesting the devotees, please pray for a sunny day. And Vyasa Puja day, straight from the morning to the evening, it was clear, it was bright, it was sunny. And myself and Shivaram Swami, we both got sunburns sitting there. And today we have another brilliant day in Damodar Dash in the association of so many brilliant Vaishnavas. I'm thankful to all of you for being here. I'm thankful to you all for the kind homage that you've given. And I'm thankful to see that you've all embraced so seriously the instructions that I have given you, that I've learned from my spiritual master, Srila Prabhupada. Recently I had the good fortune of being in Calcutta and Mayapur. I went on that side to be at the wedding of Nandarani and Namraj. And it was basically a great reunion of Damodar Desh Yatra in Bengal. It was very, very nice. Before I came to Mayapur, Shiv Charan and I were in Calcutta, and I wanted to see some different places in Calcutta. So I contacted my disciple, Sri Rupa Gosai, and I said, can you please take me here and there? He said, where do you want to go? And I told him, I said, I want to go to number 1, yeah, but what is it? Number 1, Ultadanga. Number 1, Ultadanga Road. And Shri Rupa Gosai, he said, oh, I'm just on my way home from doing the puja there. He said, I will come to your place and we will go. And the reason that I wanted to go there is because number 1, Ultadanga, is the place where Srila Prabhupada met Srila Bhakti Siddhanta. And that was a very momentous and very significant meeting for the welfare of the entire world. We know that Srila Prabhupada, he was born in Calcutta. We also went to Srila Prabhupada's birthplace. If you're in Calcutta, you can go there as well. But Sri Rupa Gosai told us that Prabhupada, he didn't live there for very long in that area. But his family shifted over on the side of Mahatma Gandhi Road. And there they lived very closely connected to the Malik family. Prabhupada were the Days and they were the Maliks. A very aristocratic old family in Calcutta. And Srila Prabhupada, of course we know that his father was a pure devotee and he grew up being trained so nicely in Krishna consciousness. Still being young and thinking in a different way, Srila Prabhupada became a member of Gandhi's movement. And he was thinking about independence for India. And I guess that was the, like a really driving spirit for young people of that age. I mean, if you look at the history, Srila Prabhupada was this, just a little bit later than a lot of the freedom fighters in India. In fact, we read that Prabhupada went to one Scottish church college in Calcutta. And I was reading that some of the other people that went there were Subhash Chandra Bose, Rabindranath Tagore, so many luminaries of that era, they went to the same college that Srila Prabhupada went to. So Prabhupada had like some political mindedness. And Narendranath Malik was his friend that he'd grown up with. And he came to Srila Prabhupada one day and he said, there's a nice sadhu at number 1 Uttadanga Road. And I want to take you there and I want you to meet this sadhu. And Prabhupada told him pretty much straight up, I'm not very interested. I've seen too many sadhus in my life already. Srila Prabhupada's father was a pure devotee and always attending different religious functions and always seeing different types of sadhus. And Prabhupada said his father had a habit that when lunch was prepared, before he would ever sit down for his lunch, he would go outside of his house and he would call out, if there are any hungry men, come to my house and take your meal. And so Prabhupada said, I saw a lot of different people wearing the cloth of a sadhu at that time. And he wasn't impressed by a lot of their behavior. So when Narendranath said, please, you come with me to Uttadanga to meet this sadhu, he said, no, I don't really want to go. But his friend was very merciful. I mean, I guess they were just boys that had grown up together and they loved one another. And so his friend just grabbed him. He said, we're going. And took Prabhupada to this Uttadanga Road. From that time until the time that ISKCON took that property, the place had completely fallen into ruin. I mean, really fallen into ruin. But when ISKCON took it, they very faithfully created exactly what was there at Uttadanga. Who has been there? Anyone? Just a few people. I really suggest that any one of you who go to Calcutta, you make it a point to go there. It's such a significant place. I mean, how did the idea of Ultadanga come about? Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati, he was sitting in Mayapur, and he had taken a vrata to chant some millions or billions of names of Krishna in 1 year. I mean, he was basically sitting in a hut and just chanting Hare Krishna from morning till night. But then his Guru Maharaj, Srila Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, told him, "What are you doing just sitting here? You're such an erudite scholar. You're so educated. You should go and preach." And so Srila Bhaktisiddhanta left that place immediately, and he went to Calcutta. And he rented this property at Ultadanga Road. They said at that time it was very, very difficult to maintain the rent. I mean, he just went there and he started preaching and he started catching people. And they said the rent was terribly expensive. It was 50 rupees a month, back in 1916 or 20 or whenever it was. But still, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta would preach to the cream of the society, and people would come and they would join. And that one evening, Srila Prabhupada went there. This young, very cultured, aristocratic, intelligent young man. He went to see Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. And if you go to Ultadanga, they have memorialized the place on the roof where Srila Bhaktisiddhanta used to sit to give class, and that's where he spoke to Srila Prabhupada. It's very beautiful. All of you must go there. So Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he spoke, and after he spoke, he looked at Prabhupada and he said, "Please come." So Srila Prabhupada was, "Yes, Maharaj." And he said, "Do you speak English?" And Prabhupada said, "Yes, Maharaj." And he said, "Then your mission of life is to spread the teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu throughout the English-speaking world." And that was it. Of course, Srila Prabhupada, he tried to give an argument. And he said, India is a subjugated country. We are ruled by foreigners. Even if we go to spread some mission, who is going to listen? And Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he said, this is all temporary. He said, Moguls come, Moguls go. British come, the British will go. The Greek Empire, Roman Empire, come and gone. This is all temporary. But the message of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the eternal message that will not only liberate people from the bondage of birth and death, but it is the message that will awaken the desire within the heart to become the loving servant of Shri Shri Radha and Krishna and Vrindavan. Like Hemangi Mataji, when she recited this one prayer by Srila Raghunath Das Goswami, Nameshreshtam Manamapasitramatas Rupam Tasyagraham Ruparim Maturim Goshtuvatim Radha Kundam Giribaramaho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Kutitikvaya Shri Guru Tam Natosi. Meaning, we have so many gifts coming from Shri Guru, but the greatest gift is that the desire becomes ignited within the heart to one day attain the loving service of Radha Madhava in the kunjas of Vrindavan. It's not just, talk of, salvation and becoming freed from all of these different turmoils that all of us must necessarily experience in this world. That is secondary. But the primary aspect is awakening that desire for loving service. Srila Prabhupada heard that. And Srila Prabhupada was like, he was very impressed. Prabhupada would always say, he said, when I had that opportunity of association with my spiritual master, I was very, very impressed. And I thought, this is a real sadhu. This is a real devotee. And at that moment, from the time of their meeting, Prabhupada dedicated himself to the lotus feet of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta. It wasn't for 12 years that Srila Prabhupada took initiation. He waited a very long time to take initiation. He had many things to sort out. Children were coming, business was going on, he was doing a lot of traveling, but he waited 12 years, but he said from that first meeting, I was very impressed, thinking, this is a real person who has a real message to give to people. It's like a message of hope. It's a message of, it's like an assurance of there is a life beyond this life. Or as Srila Prabhupada, I think, Braja Janananda Prabhu, I think in his offering, he cited that stanza from Srila Prabhupada's prayer that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta loves so much. Absolute is sentient, thou hast proved, impersonal calamity thou hast removed. And Srila Prabhupada, that one moment, back in the 1920s, on the rooftop of Uttadanga Road, it was like there was a lightning strike of mercy in the heart of Srila Prabhupada. And from that lightning strike, he only began preparing. And preparing and preparing and preparing. It's like we say a lifetime in preparation. The Prabhupada became such a profound scholar. This is while he was doing his business. Prabhupada raised a family. Prabhupada had so many things going on. I brought this point up to you all before, but I'll say it again. Our devotees, it was encouraged by Srila Bhakti, by Srila Prabhupada, that there'd be different degrees, like study courses and degrees awarded to devotees. Bhakti Shastri, Bhakti Vaibhav, Bhakti Sarvabhauma, and Bhakti Vedanta. Bhakti Vedanta is like a PhD degree in Vaishnavism. And Srila Prabhupada earned that title, Bhakti Vedanta, while he was still a Grihastha. It was Abai, Charanaravinda, Bhakti Vedanta Prabhu. Yeah. Prabhupada, he studied so deeply. Those of you who listen to Srila Prabhupada speak, those of you who read his purports, it's really amazing in his lectures. Practically every sentence that Srila Prabhupada says in his lectures, he substantiates with Shastra. It's bewildering. Now, how does this man know so much? How has he learned so much? But he prepared himself. He took that lightning flash of Kripa and he kept it with him. And he just nourished it more and more and more. He retired from family life, 1950-ish or something like that. He was living in Mathura at Keshavji Gaudiya Math. And when I first met Srila Narayan Maharaj in 1977, he said, just across, that is where Swami Maharaj stayed. And I looked at him and I said, what was his sadhana like when he was here? And he said his sadhana was like this. All night long you could hear him. Said he was just like writing constantly, non-stop, preparing himself for his mission. Srila Prabhupada explained to us that at that time, on two different occasions, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta came to him in dream. Jai Shivala Prabhu Ki Jai. And he said, two different occasions, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta came to him in dream, and he said, now it's time to take sannyas and go preach. And Srila Prabhupada said when he got that message from Srila Bhaktisiddhanta, he said he was terrified. And he said, I grew up an aristocrat. I was accustomed to nice food. I was accustomed to everything, and now he's telling me to become a sannyasi and go. And he said he went, and the second time he had this dream, he went and he confided in Keshav Maharaj. He said, Guru Maharaj has come to me in a dream. He told me to take sannyas. Is this real or is it just my mind? He said, no, it's real. You take sannyas. And then Prabhupada took sannyas. Why? For the benefit of everybody in the world. That's where that lightning strike of mercy just expanded and expanded until Srila Prabhupada just said, now I become a sannyasi. I give up everything. Family was given up. All material attachments given up. Srila Prabhupada, when he lived at Radha Damodar, he wrote, he said, all my family members, he just laughed. He said, it's a long list of names. A list of names of people who don't exist anymore, at least exist in those bodies. And when Srila Prabhupada took sannyas, it was an interesting situation. It was, Vishwarup Mahotsava Day. And I've told this story so many times, but Keshav Maharaj, he was the Acharya of that organization. And he was Srila Prabhupada's godbrother. So he was sort of like the officiating Acharya of the function. And Srila Narayan Maharaj, he was the person doing the Jagya. And also, Srila Prabhupada's godbrother, Srila Akinchana Krishnadas, was there. And he told me, he said, I was there at your Guru Maharaj's sannyas ceremony. He said, do you know what I was doing? And I said, what? And he said, I was chanting Hare Krishna, silly. What do you think I was doing? And he said he was sitting there and like all these mantras were going on. Big group was there. Babaji Maharaj said he was sitting there just singing his heart out, Hare Krishna Mahamantra. And at a certain point, Srila Narayan Maharaj started becoming annoyed because he was trying to chant his mantras. And so he was like looking at Babaji Maharaj and he was like going like this, be quiet. And then Keshav Maharaj was standing next to Prabhupada, and Keshav Maharaj was going. And he said, and then Prabhupada was going. He said, at that time, I knew that he was going to be world acharya of spreading the Hare Krishna Mahamantra to every town and village of the world. And then, after the ceremony, Prabhupada and one man much elderly to Srila Prabhupada, they were initiated, and it was time to speak. And you have to think, this is Mathura back in 1959 at Keshav Gaudiya Math. So the language was either Hindi or Bengali. And the first gentleman, he spoke, Keshav Maharaj spoke, and then Srila Prabhupada was supposed to speak. Srila Prabhupada spoke in English. He just addressed the crowd in English because that was his mission that he was training for. That's how he was cultivating that mercy that he'd gotten from Guru Maharaj. You know, teach in the English countries. And he went to Jhansi. That didn't work out. And then it was time, ultimately, to go to America. And I have another story, but it's too long, so I won't tell it. But I met the son of the man who owned the printing press in Delhi, where Srila Prabhupada was having Bhagavatam printed, the first few volumes of Bhagavatam, those brown books. And this man told me, he said, Prabhupada would, for some period of time, he said, Prabhupada used to come to my home every evening. And he said, my father's English was much better than Prabhupada's English. He said, so my father would go through Srila Prabhupada's draft and he would edit it before sending it for setup in the printing press. And he said, and every night when Prabhupada would come, my mother would cook for my father and would cook for Prabhupada. And I was given the duty to serve. He said, I was just young at that time. He said, but every night Srila Prabhupada, when he was eating a chapati and some sabji, he would tear off some chapati, take some sabji, he'd take a bite, and then he'd call me, and he'd say, eat this. And Prabhupada was just giving mercy in that way. And he said that he was a Sindhi. This man was a Sindhi. And he was Balabkul. And he knew that Sumati Morarji. So he was like a connect to help Prabhupada get to America. And then we know the story of Prabhupada going across, Prabhupada having 2 heart attacks on the way. But then he came to America and he struggled. I mean, can you imagine any of you, saying, take a steamship to America with 40 rupees and start preaching, and you don't know anyone. But that was Prabhupada's situation. Prabhupada went to a very uncivilized place. He went to America. You can imagine a person born in Calcutta in 1896 who was from an aristocratic family, and then going to New York City and dealing with hippies. It was very strange. Prabhupada said those first 5 years, he said, those were the hardest years of my life. They were so difficult. But I couldn't go back. Sometimes he would go down to the shipping yard and he would look at the schedules for the ships going back, and the man there would say, Swamiji, are you ready to go back? And he said, no, I can't do that because I haven't done what my Guru Maharaj requested. There was that other incident when Srila Prabhupada, he had like really strong heart attack or really strong stroke, He was in the hospital, and the disciples were taking care of him, but he had really no Shakti whatsoever. He was just laying on the bed and chanting Hare Krishna. And they were giving him treatment, and the doctor used to tell his disciples, his fledgling disciples, he said, tell the old man not to pray so much. He's expending too much energy. And at that time, Srila Prabhupada wrote a letter to one man in Delhi, one pundit in Delhi that he knew. And I actually, this whole story, it's a big story. At any rate, somehow I got to that pundit's house. And he was about 85 years old when I got there. And he lived down there in those gullies by Kashmiri Gate. And I went to his house, and I knocked the door, and he came out and he said, a Vaishnav has come. He said, please come in. And this was in 1977. And we spoke, and then he said, would you like to see the letters that Srila Prabhupada sent me? And I said, sure. So he got these letters down, and there was one letter in particular, and it was a letter that Prabhupada wrote to him when he was direly ill. And Srila Prabhupada said, dear, Pandit Krishna Sharma. He said, Pranam, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. He said, I'm deathly ill in America. They say that I may die at any moment. He said, it's like I have huge bells ringing in my head 24 hours a day. I am so weak I cannot move my body. So I'd like for you to do something for me. You please go to Mathura and go to Vishramghat and go to the Dhaka Oshadaloy and describe my symptoms to the doctor there. He said, only go to Dhaka. He said, the rest of them are quacks. And send me that medicine, it may save my life. But then in the next paragraph, Srila Prabhupada said, but please do not understand me. I am not afraid to die. He said, in fact, death cannot touch me. He said, but if I die now, it will be a great loss because I have not yet fulfilled the order of my spiritual master. So you see how Prabhupada had so much Guru Nishta, that even being on the deathbed, all he can think about is, I can't die because I haven't done what my Guru Maharaj has said to do. And then he did something great. He really did something great. Because of Srila Prabhupada, that lightning strike of mercy and Prabhupada's cultivation, then when the time came, he spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world. And the only reason that we're here today, together, is because that lightning strike of mercy came, and Srila Prabhupada took it so seriously that it affected us, it's affected you, it's affected so many devotees throughout the world, so many people throughout the world. He did something great. So, I guess if I have a hope today, naturally my hope would be that you all, cultivate your sadhana very, very nicely. They say that, sadhana and sadhya. You perform sadhana, then the perfection will come. If you perform sadhana carefully, you'll understand what is our goal, our true goal. So my hope is that all of you will be very successful in practicing your sadhana bhakti. My hope is that you'll all dedicate yourself for the study of the instructions of Srila Prabhupada by reading his books. And my hope is that you will always deal not only with yourselves, but with every Vaishnava and every person in this entire world in the way that I've repeatedly requested you to. Which means, following the mood of Srila Prabhupada and following the mood of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and always show love and compassion and be humane to everyone. Don't discriminate. In the kirtan of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, everybody is welcome without discrimination. So be like that. And in one sense, we could say that's taking the message and doing something great. Because if you do that, then without fail, your lives will become perfected and you'll go back to Godhead. But also always think of how you can, try to do something great in the mood that Srila Prabhupada did. Take the message and help to touch other people with Krishna consciousness. As I always encourage everyone, I always encourage my disciples, be the most cooperative of souls in Damodar Desh to help spread this mission. This is such a phenomenal yatra. It's something which is rare to see in the world. But do something great and always be a cooperator, a contributor, a support for this mission of Krishna consciousness. Okay, I've spoken too long. Thank you all very much for your kind wishes today. And I'm so glad to see you all and see so many devotees who, I've gotten to know over the past 25 years now. Sri Bala Prabhu, he brought me over here in 1999. And now it's 2024, 25 years. And it would be rude of me, not to express my appreciation directly to Sri Bala Prabhu and Mrs. Sri Bala and the children of Sri Bala Prabhu and the mother and the father of Sri Bala Prabhu for all that they have done for the mission of Srila Prabhupada. I mean, it's a beautiful thing that, Mani Prabhu and Mataji inspired the sons, and then the sons were married and inspired the wives, and now the generations are going on, and Sri Vallabh's sons are so absorbed in assisting and spreading Krishna consciousness. Sri Bala Prabhu, thank you so much for being such a fine example of a Vaishnava. And Sri Bala Prabhu and I, we share birthdays, I think, by one day, correct? I'm on the 12th and you're on the 13th. So, happy birthday, Sri Bala Prabhu. Happy birthday to you. May you be blessed with long life. May you be blessed with health, and may you be blessed with your continued perfect service to the lotus feet of your spiritual master. Hare Krishna. Thank you all. Hare Krishna.